This is big. Some breaking news. In the city of Chicago, Sammy Sosa was the man during the late 90s, early 2000s, a legend in Chicago, but he has not had a good relationship with the ball club. Jesse Rogers with the breaking news that Sosa essentially put out an apology. And here's the tweet. Said former Cub Sammy Sosa, who has been estranged with the team, put out a statement. A portion here. There were times I did whatever I could to recover from injuries in an effort to keep my strength up to perform over 162 games. I never broke any laws, but in hindsight, I made mistakes and I apologize. And the Cubs already, have responded. And I think there's two separate issues here, guys, but help me out. I'm not like the most well versed on this one. And here's the whole letter from Sammy. There clearly was a lot of dissension with Sammy and the organization, and they weren't going to let him be a part of the org, coming back to stuff like the Cubs Fest, the ballpark, et cetera, without an apology, right? That has now been handled. It seems like the Cubs have already responded and said this is good, right? This was pre-coordinated. The part in the apology that's weird, of course, is I did whatever I could to overcome things and stay on the field, but I didn't break any laws. Are PEDs against the law? Can I pop a steroid in my butt, or is that against the law? Pretty sure it's illegal, isn't it?
That's where I was kind of like a little, the disconnect there. Break any laws? I don't know where that part of it is. I think it is a statement. Maybe he wants to get back in baseball in the major leagues. Maybe he wants to do something, with the organization. For me, I thought this was already done. This is water under the bridge, but I guess not. This has still been going on
for a long time, Todd.
For a long time. Yeah,
dude.
I remember hearing about it and just kind of, for me personally, just sweeping it under the rug. Like, oh man, this is weird. This is crap. They'll figure it out, and I guess it's still going on. So, yeah, back in that time, people did whatever they could to stay on the field. Of course, I mean that was what was going on, and I thought if he wouldn't have said I never broke any laws in hindsight, I thought he should have just said I made a mistake and apologized. That would have been probably enough. But breaking the laws in hindsight, I just don't know where that came from. That's all.
Why even mention that? That's my question.
That's what I mean.
I like the rest of the article, but why even say it? Or the apology, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm fine with the apology. Let's all be friends. Let's bring a dude back to the ballpark that people want to see. I mean, maybe there's some legalese in there that I'm unaware of, but I don't even know why you'd throw that out there.
Maybe.
I don't get any of this. I don't understand why the Cubs feel like, oh, we're the upstanding citizens of Chicago. Like, we could never have a steroid user that's part of the organization. Like, there's plenty of dudes that have reclamated their name, their association with steroids. I mean, look at what A-Rod's done. The dude's everywhere. Fox is just like, whatever. We'll hire him. Guys, like, why? To me, there has to be something more in the organization.
There is.
Yes, there has to be.
No, there is. That's why he said he apologized for his actions. I think he did some things and said some things to people behind the scenes that ticked him off enough. And I don't know. I've heard a couple things that I can't even really share, but I think there was some mistreatment. There were some wrongs on his end, and they just felt like, hey, if you want to be part of this again, you need to apologize for that. So I'm fine with that part of it. The part that I just get confused about is the mixing in of the laws.
Yeah.
Like what? Because you only were involved with PEDs outside of the country. I mean, no, you were playing. I'm sure he was popping in the States. So I don't know. For me, it just say, hey, I had some issues. I apologize for how I treated some people within the org. I'm back. The extra sentence there is like, I don't want to admit it, but I'm sorry for everything else.
Yeah, it's an apology and then not a little bit. It is an apology, but it's there's definitely stuff behind the scenes. He might, like you said, he could have mistreated some people the wrong way. Could have done something even deeper back then that nobody knew about. Like same thing. Let's just not talk about it, move on. And boom, once he was done, get the heck out.
If we're only talking about steroids here, we're not talking about other extracurricular things that, hurting people's feelings, doing other stuff. People that did steroids during that time that I know that I would consider friends that did steroids and played baseball. they're not ashamed. They're not sorry. I've never met any of them that are like, dang it, I wish I had not hit 42 home runs instead of 21. I wish I had not gotten a 3-year contract when I probably was a minor league dude that was just bouncing around. So to issue an apology, that's why you hear I'm really sorry about the decisions I made, but everybody was doing it. Or I'm really sorry about making doing steroids. I hope kids can look to me as a hero still because I did so many good things in my career. No, they're not sorry. Stop with that. Stop asking them to be sorry. Other people need to stop asking people who did steroids to be sorry. They did it. They made the choice. If you want to judge them for that and you want to take away their accolades just because you didn't do it or you didn't accomplish it, to me, you can save that.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Love
and
that.
The A-Rod
That's
example.
a great call.
The A-Rod example is good too. I don't think anyone did more damage with the steroid situation than A-Rod. I admit it, then I don't, and I'm suing everyone and all that stuff. And then it's like, I'm back. So yeah, I separate the two. For me, we can have a PED steroid debate, Hall of Fame, the whole deal. But I think for Chicago purposes, Sosa back in there, people can be around him. Like that's all cool. I'm good. We're fans of that. I just the obviously we're going to be critical on here. The part of the apology that is weird is, but I didn't break any laws. Don't arrest me. I'm like, no one's coming after you, but we don't need you to say that you didn't. We get what you're saying, and we don't believe you. So just say I'm sorry. Come back. Let's have a good time.
It's funny that this all came out because when in 2009, I played in the Dominican Republic. And guys were getting B12 shots as like the season was going on. And all of a sudden, we're getting into the playoff hunt. And the B12 shots turned into, oh no, you're still playing. Like you shouldn't be getting this B12 shot. Like this B12 shot is not a B12 shot. Like it's just, it happens. It was part of it. This was in 2009 when it was illegal in the game. So like, it's all like, yeah. Anyway, it's all relative.
That's a good story.